easy go.
Right guys, it's going to be another solo prestige, this time on the Hunter. And we're going to go with Arc Strider. So, we're going to be using Arc Bolt Grenade, Marksman's Dodge with Bottom Tree. Bottom Tree because of... I quite like Combat Meditation and this perk here. Where you can blind a major and then they're vulnerable to rockets. Which is really handy for this Nightfall because the knights, we've got a lot of red bar knights to deal with, and they often dodge rockets, so you can go up to them, blind them, then you're free to rocket them or whatever you want. This is quite nice also. I mean, you can run top tree if you wanted, but I think this is really valuable, this perk. In terms of armor, none of it's optimized, but the main thing you want to know is raid and flux. Obviously, it's common sense when you run an Arc Strider, put that on. Weapons, same as with the Titan, Better Devils, Mananin, and Curtain Call. Obviously, as I said, we're opting for Arc Singe, so make sure all your Arc weapons are Arc. And here's the card. So on the Titan, I done 0 power handicap just like this. Arc Singe, but I had Grenadier. Mainly because I had Skull for it could generate a lot of pulse nade energy. The Hunter's Grenade is like good, it's okay, but it's no pulse grenade. So heavyweight's a better option for the Hunter. Actually, I haven't played with it. I would say heavyweight might be better in general anyway. So yeah, heavyweight. So yeah, that's the weapons, the build, the card. So I haven't experimented with different burns. I think Arc Singe is by far the most suitable for this Nightfall. The only thing you've got to worry about with Arc Singe is the Knights and the Wizards. Void and Solar, everything else. So Arc Singe, there isn't a lot of it, but when there is, it's dangerous. You can kind of isolate it, so you can skip that section. Just run through. Just try and take a safer, try and be safe about it. Because if you stand for too long, you will get wrecked. I like to do a good couple of rockets on this first section. Get rid of these knights. Plus, heavyweight is on the modifier, and a lot of heavy drops off this knight. When that modifier is active, there's a lot of heavy that drops. You can use a lot of rockets. I like to try and rocket these guys in the back for whatever reason. I don't know why. They kind of were dodging. They don't usually. They're dodging a lot, then just scout them down. They are kind of a priority because while you're shooting the acolytes in front of you, these guys, they'll snipe you while you're trying to do that, so best to take the snipers out kind of first, or right away. And see what modifier does with Arc Singe. It wrecks the knights. One rocket will sometimes kill a knight, depending on how your clusters go. when you come about halfway up, the thrall will spawn like that. Just kind of hang back because it is arc singe. If one of those explodes on top of you, probably get one shot off that. This knight will kind of hide. You can nade him and just take him out with rockets. And when they put the shield up like that, just like it was on the Titan video, always have a rocket reloaded and ready for when they do that, because they can't dodge your rockets if you're quick enough.
We turn all of Mars into a spawning ground. We've got to stop Nokris.
There's specific times as well when you'll need your super for, which I've found the best way on certain sections. So don't just use your super willy-nilly. This section you can skip. You just kind of take this route.
This Nokris is even worse than we thought. We're talking necromancy.
These two knights will rush around this corner. They can be troublesome, but try and rocket them while they're running. Kind of a free rocket. And they'll kind of huddle up on that rock by every time. Once they're down, there'll be 2-3 acolytes, 1 major, 2 red bars. Take those both out. And then there'll be 2 red bar knights, so sometimes 1 major will drop 2 bricks as well, so you can use plenty of rockets. Jump up on this rock if you need, because they can't hurt you up here. 1 rocket can take them both out sometimes. Now I've saved my super for this specific situation right now. Try and take at least 2 of the knights with rockets. So rocket marksman dodge, and another rocket, and then you can reliably usually take out last 2 knights and the wizard, or just the hero there. I get unlucky and my wizard kind of moves about, but put good enough damage into it. Once you've done that, you can go and collect all your rockets. Make sure you leave them with 6, because we're approaching I would say it's a hard room, the ogre room. Once the checkpoint comes up, makes that audio cue, you can just kind of leave this area. You don't need to kill all the thralls and skip this section. Make sure you either have a rocket ready or a nade, because you can skip this section easy. As long as you stagger the knight with either a nade or a rocket like that, just run through. Which is pretty safe to do so, as long as you stagger the knight. If you don't, sometimes you might catch you. So this is the hard part for me. Now what I was trying to do here was I was trying to put in damage, because 2 knights spawn from 1 door. They got a bit of damage in, but not only that, you're getting a lot of heavy drops, so you'll have 2 major knights spawn on 1 round, and then on the next there'll be another 2 majors. It's 2 at a time, but in between the 2 knights there's shriekers to take out, just like I took out that first one. You've got to be really careful about your map positioning. It's the most important thing. So try not to go in the ogre's line of sight, and if you are doing it, make sure you're only running past, not actually standing in his sight, because he can wreck you really easy. I had a bit of trouble with this knight. If I'd hit my nade, it'd have been good. But I didn't want to push that. It's not a good angle if you go around there, so if your knight does retreat like that, just come round. there'll be another knight near where the ogre is, in middle. So I like to come round here. Round here is quite safe compared to the other side. Luckily, this knight didn't know I was there, so it was another 3 rocket to get in. You can use the orbs, because the knight will drop an orb that you need to throw at crystals. But you can use the orb to blind enemies, including the knight, which can be handy. I was looping back around just to try and find this, the first knight that I had trouble with. There you go, so you can blind him like that. Alternatively, you could have threw the orb and blinded him with your hunter melee ability that I was on about at the start. Either way. As soon as you've done that, a shrieker will awaken when you get close proximity. What I like to do here, I like to try and kill both knights. So I've saved a super for this, and the knights won't spawn until you kill the shrieker. As soon as the shrieker is killed, 2 knights will spawn outside of this door. One spawns quicker than the other though, so you just kind of wait down here until the yellow bar knight appears. Once he has, you can kill both knights, and then you've done a lot of work there with just 1 super. Now there'll be 2 snipers up above, which I want to take out. I'll go in there with a nade. You can blind one if you need to. One arc bolt will take them both out. Important that you have a good couple of rockets for the ogre, at least 3. Before you throw that second ball, because as soon as you throw this second ball, the ogre's shield will go down. So you need to get into position, so to speak, with rockets as well. Once you're ready, you'll be able to do that. I'm actually quite sloppy with my rockets here, but if you get your rockets to hit, and this ogre's a lot easier. I think it's 3 rockets at least. Don't worry about the rest of the ads as well, just kind of hide, because they will despawn once you kill the ogre. So yeah, if I'd been more accurate with my rockets, that would have been a lot easier. Don't worry as well if you ran out of rockets like me, because there'll be loads of rockets on the map to pick up. And now we're approaching the final boss. That ogre room is tough. I think there's a lot of... I mean, it is good with the Axe Rider. It's a lot easier than most other classes because you can take 2 knights out with 1 super. Not many other classes can do that, I don't think. Like, quite safely, like. This section, you just want to take out these knights. Use plenty of rockets on them. Doesn't really matter at this stage. You'll get 4 bricks back at least off them, so. This fight, I was wanting them to proc their shields, their regen shields, just like that. Just makes it super reliable rather than them dodging my rockets all the time. You should be approaching to a super, or just get your super like me. Around about. Masterworks does really help as well. Masterwork weapons. If you come to this section here, the boss will kind of try and hit you, but he can't. So you can kind of head glitch him. So you're free to put in all the damage you want. You can put a couple of rockets in me if you want. Don't do too many though, because you do need some for later. Just keep hitting the boss until he goes immune, and then it'll spawn the first phase. This fight has 3 main phases, basically where you've got to kill 2 major knights, and it's the same mechanic as earlier, where you hit the balls with the crystals. I like to hang around on this side of the map, and what will happen is there'll be a load of thrall rush you first. There will eventually be acolytes spawn and everything, but there'll be a good couple of waves of thrall before that. It is on prestige, so even a thrall melee can, like if 2 or 3 thrall hit you at the same time, you can be in trouble, so don't be wary of them. Like I explained on my Titan video, the boss ramps up in difficulty, so right now he's immune and he's just standing there. So you're free to roam the map, relatively okay. I like to use a super on the first phase as well, because we're going to get the supers back, so if you can take both knights out with 1 super, then great. I think I do. I end up doing so. Yep. Try and prioritise those 2 knights, because they're a bit of a headache to take out sometimes. Yeah, the fight ramps up, so on the first phase he's immune, he stands there. On the second phase he's immune but he still hits you but stands there. And on the third phase he's immune and he roams and he hits you. Now this is not so much a phase, more of a little mini phase if you like. Only a couple of ads spawn and a couple of thralls, so it's not a big deal this one. You don't need to be using heavy or anything on the ads. Snipers are important to take out though at the back. Before you start damaging the boss, make sure all your ads are down, everything down. Because if they are still up, they'll be just firing solar nades while you're trying to do damage, which you don't want. So now if you come to this rock on the right side, this one specifically, it's a really good place just to head glitch the boss, which I wasn't aware of on my Titan bid. Just free to rocket, put so many rockets in, I haven't used many. Always try and keep control of the ads, save arc bolts for them, because arc bolt doesn't do a lot of damage on the boss, so never be using arc bolt on the boss. So it's a really good ad clearing nade, so use it for that. And you can just continue at this rock. Sometimes you do take splash damage. If you do, just try and reposition yourself, wait for your health to recover. I don't think it happens with me on this one, but it has happened on previous runs. What I'm doing right now is I'm doing an ammo run. When you've got a chance like this, when there's no ads up and it's just you and the boss, be mindful of all your ammo. So I was low on my scout rifle there, which I can't be having run out of any ammo really on any of my weapons. Important to have all ammo up because you need to be popping shields with your Manana. Devils is good for being aggressive with. This section I spawn killed this wizard, make sure you do that. So as soon as the audio queue is up, say the ads are coming in, have your rocket ready to spawn kill that wizard, because it is arc singe, and if you let the wizard roam off, you've got a bunch of thrall, you've got a wizard there, and you've got a wizard in the back of the map to deal with, which can cause problems. Like I said, the boss now is ramped up in difficulty. He'll be immune, but he'll still hit you, but he'll just stay up there, up top. Whereas earlier he was just standing there. when he was immune. Now we'll just have the last wizard to take out, which I just like to scout her down. I don't even rocket her. Chances are she'll just dodge, so... Unless she's in her animation where she starts firing a load of arc bolts, arc waves at you, that's when you can rocket her. It's no big deal just to take her out, scout her down. As soon as she's dead, there'll be 2 knights spawn immediately. Now I wanted to try and spawn kill my knight. I was out of position. If you can do it, because the knight will come up out of the ground, he'll have like a 2-second time where he won't dodge rockets. Be always mindful of the boss as well, because you don't want the boss hitting you while the knights are. If you are going to rocket without the shield going up, just make sure you hip fire it rather than aim down sights. I've noticed it's just more reliable for the knights not to dodge your rockets. Now, I had an issue here. Okay, so I am having to kill 3 knights now, and that's not meant to happen. So this made it harder for me. Basically, I think the game, I'm not sure what happened actually, but you should only have 2 knights every round like this, so a knight immediately spawned up for whatever reason. That made it harder. Now, I could have went and threw the ball and done the crystal, but I would have another knight on extra onto the next phase, and that wasn't part of my plan. I didn't want that, so I wanted just to kill this knight. And we're having to do extra here for whatever reason. God knows why the game done that. But don't count on that happening. I haven't seen that happen before. That's a rare occurrence. I've also noticed when you take the knight shield down and then start hitting him with a kinetic weapon, he's more likely to bring his shield up as well. Unfortunately, we missed our rocket just dodge it in time. And I was lucky there he got enraged. When they get enraged, it's great because they're vulnerable to your rockets and they won't do any arc damage to you either. So we do have an extra ball up. I think it ends up disappearing. I'm not sure. If this does happen to you, just leave it on the ground. You don't need it. Now we're on to the next section. It's not like the next phase, so to speak. It's just kind of a couple of acolytes will spawn and a couple of thrall, not much. But we are on to the next phase where we're coming up, where the boss starts to roam a bit more. If you are in trouble like I was a little, just rotate round to the left side. That's also a safe spot. I do prefer it on right. This time I'm just making sure all my ads are down, and then we can start doing our damage at that rock again. Also, it's really important for the last phase you have a super. If there's any time you need a super in this whole Nightfall, it's then. I'll tell you when it's coming up. Mainly because the boss is immune, he roams, and he shoots at you, and you've got thrall, and you've got 2 major knights, and you've got acolytes. There's just too much going on. I was just looking for ammo. It's really important you fill up with ammo on each stage. It's because you end up using that much. You can just come here and, like I say, if you are taking splash damage, come back out of the rock and then go back into it. Sometimes you will, it's finicky. I've noticed actually that ball's still on the floor, so anytime she spawns with ads like that, arc bolt, either that or rocket, whichever one you want. It just keeps the ads under control. So I think I get caught out. There you go, look. I actually nearly died there, just because the frog put me out of position. So that's why it's so important to be on top of your ads. Only takes a couple of direct hits and you can be one shot. Back to the damage phase. The last phase will start just when he's just below this first bar of health. Sorry, his last bar of health. It's important to kind of have plenty of rockets going into this last phase because it's just dicey. It can turn out differently every time, depending on how well you do with your super and stuff. And the boss is immune. And now this is the last phase where you absolutely need your super. I wouldn't pop it right away because the major knights take a while to spawn in. So just keep killing the thrall until it starts to get where you can see there's a lot of ads knocking around. Be mindful of the boss a lot. He will approach you if you're out of position. That's why I like it over this side. Okay, so I was saying it was dicey. That's when it's super time. Just about. Come over this side because I know the knight spawns first on this side, so I wanted to kind of spawn kill him. Your goal is to try and clear out as much as you can and get at least one knight down. If you can clear both knights out, great, but I would focus on clearing one side of the map out first. I was clearing out this side. And then when things do get bad, just rotate to the other side. Don't be shy to use rockets on thrall as well, because they are dangerous if they're in a pack like that and you've got no nade or anything. I notice I've still got 2 balls on the floor. The ball from earlier. Well, it spawned me 2 knights anyway, so makes no difference. We'll just have to take out the last knight as well. Which can be hard this night because this boss is always aggroing you and you need to kind of rocket him, but as I've said several times, the knights are terrible for dodging rockets. Also, you can take your time as well because we need another super for the very end. I wouldn't say that you absolutely need one, but if you want to kill, if you want to guarantee it, have a super up for the end. Again, just rotate round, that happens. Like with the previous round, I could have easily just thrown the ball there, but there was no need to. Because we're waiting for super, plus I don't want that knight alive for the next phase. I want as less ads as possible. Once you've done all that, go around the map, pick up as much ammo as you can. Any orbs that you've made, pick those up as well. Now, because I was on such a good run, I thought, well, I'm 60%, 70% of my super, so I thought, what the hell, we'll wait it out. I honestly didn't realise how much damage I would need, to be honest. But I mean, I would have had enough rockets to kill her, but when you're in your super, you got that damage resistance, so it's just more reliable to kill her with a super. At this point, we're just waiting on that super. If you'd have generated more orbs than me, then you wouldn't have to be waiting as long as I did. I was trying to set up from this side so that we'd definitely get the crystal throw. Plus then the boss would be on top of me to get the kill as well. Trying to check the boss's health, but it doesn't seem to show when she's shielded like that. If the boss does encounter you like that, just kind of ring around the rows of this rock, basically, just go around. Make sure your rocket's reloaded as well. Any second now. And then when you've got your super, take down the crystal, do a rocket first while the boss is staggered, super immediately, and just go ham on the boss. And that's a reliable kill, an easy kill. If we hadn't saved our super there, the boss would have, the shield would have went down, and there'd have been a lot of knights. There'd have been 2 or 3 shielded knights that would have rushed. A load of thrall. It just makes it easier having a super at that end section there. Anyways, that was a run for the hunter, for those that want to try it. Could try Night Stalker. Night Stalker would be really good as well for the invis. Just, I'm not very good with Night Stalker, so I went with Arc Strider instead. Anyways, hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.